Hi, this is Alan Weaver. This is the expanded payroll project which you've been assigned. As you can see, it's already been formatted. Make sure when you format it, it has a good similarity to this. Makes it easier to read for the person in payroll or whoever has to review this. The first cell that we have to work in is E2. We're going to need an if statement here. We're going to establish statements going through E through K over here. Then we're going to drag it down. If you have to type in a different formula down here or another place, you're not doing it correctly. What we have to do in this section here is an if statement. Okay, so we go into here, we go to the if statement, and we'll move this over here. We want to say the test is, because we're working with overtime, Barber works 48 hours a week. He's going to get 8 hours, a time and a half, 40 hours at straight time. And you're going to need if statements in columns E and F. So what I want to say, if D2 is greater than the 40 hours, we use an absolute reference on there. And then if it's true, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 40 hours times the hourly rate. If it's false, we're just going to multiply their hours, such as Leighton, who has 35, times the hourly rate. We say, okay, let's go to the right. We're going to do the overtime. Again, another if statement. You can also type it in. Equal if, left parenthesis. You got a little bubble down there that tells you what you're doing, separated with commas, bold in there. The bold section is what you have to do first. So what we want to say, if D2 is greater than 40 hours, now the test if true, he's going to get 8 hours times 950 times time and a half. So we're going to do the first half of this, the first part of the true statement. So it's 48 hours. And put in a parenthesis. So it's this minus this times, make sure you're closing parentheses, times the hourly wage times the overtime rate. I hit the tab key. It gave me a little prompt here. I'm going to say OK because I did not put in the parenthesis on it. The gross pay, we add up these two cells here. One little comment. Make sure you're referencing your absolute references when you're doing this. You should be knowing that at this point here. Taxable pay is based on the number of deductions that a person has. Barbara has 2 kids, and it's a $75 deduction. So we have to subtract from here, from the gross pay, minus this, minus the $75 times the 2 dependents. Go to the cell to the right. The withholding tax uses a vertical lookup in here. It's based on this taxable pay here by the rate in here. So to do that, you have to use a vertical lookup. Again, I'm just going to type equal V lookup, left parenthesis. The lookup value is right here. I'm going to separate this with a comma, the table array, it's in the second column. Now what I have to do at this point, otherwise I'm just going to show a taxable rate of like 22 or 15%. I've got to multiply it times the taxable pay. Social Security tax. Read the assumptions at the bottom. It's based on the gross pay times the 7.65%. So it's this times the net pay is the gross pay minus the withholding and the Social Security. If you have a job, you should know this. We all know that we never get to keep what we earn. I got that. I highlight these cells here. I drag down, and I look over here. I have another problem. Shh. You could see that when I was doing this, there is an error in here. See, I have false and stuff here for the overtime here. What did your teacher forget to do? You got a whole bunch of messes over here. Withholding tax is a mess because this guy's getting $266. What we didn't establish was the false condition because we see a couple of falses. So I go over here, and then the other thing too is the D14 became D15. So this needs to be an absolute. So I want you people to pay attention. We all have things go wrong. I go on the green checkbox, drag it down, and do things look good now? Yes, you could check this with the calculator. It should match what's in the book. We need totals here. You're not going to add up the hours worked or anything like that, but you just click down here. You know the sigma key. You click in here with the cross, and then we could drag this all the way over to the right. And if you have those pound signs, you know what those mean. Too narrow, too narrow. We have finished this project.